Oh, Penny, welcome. So happy to have you here with us.
I'm so happy to be here. It's lovely to see you, Amanda.
Oh, it was love at first sight for me, Penny. We've known each other for at least 15 years now and have had many journeys and adventures together, right?
We've had amazing adventures together
And
in the
many
United States, in Ireland. Yes,
and
yes. In
Glastonbury.
Glastonbury, that's true. Glastonbury too. Yeah, that was a wonderful trip.
Well, thank you for
Yes.
being here. Penny is just pure love and pure wisdom, and her work is phenomenal. And actually, to witness your gifts just expanding and deepening. I'd say it's
Mm,
deepening more even than the word and aligning,
mm,
and embodying.
mm.
So yeah,
Thank
amazing.
you.
Well, I'd love to start off with just because your whole journey is really, really important and I feel very inspiring and enlightening
Mhm.
for everyone. So I'd love to start off with I'm not sure what year it was that you joined for the Feng Shui Master Certification. So take us back because when I
Okay.
first met you, I mean, you're an incredible dancer and you were doing life coaching and everything. So start us there on the journey and then share with us.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah, that's true. I was, yeah, back in the 2000s, that's when we met each other. Yeah, I had been life coaching for a number of years. I was trained through the Coach Training Institute, and I got my certification through them and loved my work. I had wonderful clients. And I had a number of clients that were repeat clients. You know, they finish one project and get everything accomplished they were working on and move along. And then they would come back and go, "Oh, I have this new one, or I have a new project, or I'd like some coaching on this." And I began to notice a pattern. I began to notice that even with all of the things that they were getting done in their personal lives, there seemed to be some repeating patterns, that they weren't able, little circles that they weren't able to get out of. So I began to wonder about that. And I thought about my own home at the time, and I began to wonder, is there something else? Is there something about where they are, where they live, their everyday life, their home life that might be tripping them up a little bit? I wasn't sure. And I'd heard a little bit about feng shui, like a lot of people. You know how it is. Everybody hears a little bit of this, a little bit of that. They tell you different things. But I started reading about it. And so that's when I began to wonder whether their home needed to be more supportive. Their environment in their home needed to be more supportive to the what they were trying to accomplish in their lives. So I jumped on the internet and I thought, well, maybe I could study. I picked up a book and I read it and I went, okay, that's really interesting. This really is all about the energy of their home. And I'm a perpetual student, so I went, reading a book was not enough. So I was living in San Diego at the time. I went online and punched in feng shui training, and who was the first name that came up? but but Amanda, I went, oh my goodness, she's in San Diego. I'm in San Diego. So I remember getting a hold of you and talking to you about the school and about how what you thought about me as a life coach, jumping in and getting feng shui training. And of course, it was a perfect blend. It's a perfect blend for anything. But it that was
We
when I
all
knew,
live
when
at
I
home,
met.
right?
Yeah, we all live in homes, and we all need that home, whatever size, shape, country, doesn't matter where we are. We need to have that undergirding, that solid foundation that really enlivens and enriches every part of our lives. And our homes really should be that. You've said it a million times, and it's true. Our home should feel like it's giving us a hug, like we're supported, we're cared for, that it intimately is involved with our day-to-day lives, and the energy of our home can have that. And I once you and I started talking, I knew that that was the element that I had to start introducing to my coaching clients for them to really get the benefit of all of the hard work that they were putting in. So, but I remember that the first time I talked to you, I just knew, I knew that I knew that I knew that this was the right thing, and that not only that, but it was going to be the relationship that I had with you, because I've just had those experiences in my life where I've connected with someone and I knew instantly that they were going to be a very integral part of my life going forward, even though I didn't know what that looked like. And when I look back now and think of all of the things that you and I have done together, I'm just going, I would never have imagined.
And I think
But
the smiles on our
yeah,
face say it all.
yeah, exactly,
And
exactly.
you're just like you just emanate love and just nourishment and kindness and compassion. And so to be in your presence is really beautiful. So I definitely felt that from the moment, even though I do remember our first conversation, but the
Yeah,
first thing, you know, so grateful.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
how was it for you? You had that knowing, right? So you're helping people,
Hmm.
you're like, oh, there's a peace there. And oh, it's in the
Hmm.
environment. So how was it for you going through the training personally and then professionally and everything?
Right. Well, I mean, I know for me, it opened up my whole world. I mean, you think because, we all know that energy's everywhere, but you think about energy and how it really impacts everything in your life. But it was mind blowing for me, quite honestly. It opened up my world in such a profound way. And I really felt, I went into it thinking, oh, I'm going to do, this is for my clients. But as always, you're really doing it for yourself, because you have to be able to embody any kind of anything that you want to offer to clients, to family, to friends, to your community. You have to be able to embody it yourself. It has to be part of you, to be able to really bring it into other people's lives. And it changed my world. It changed the way I looked at energy. It changed the way I looked at my home. It changed the way I looked at nature. I began to recognize things about myself that how we often go, oh, that's just me. And I'm going, no, you're actually picking up on energetic things that are in your environment, or energy fields between people. It just opened my whole world up to see the world through the lens of, we're all connected. Everything is energy, and energy is always there. It never goes away. It just changes form, depending on what we're doing with it. And I think it opened me up to a level of awareness about myself that had always been there, but I had just really not really recognized. And so that's what started me on, wow, this is way more than just me introducing this to my coaching clients. And it just continued to build. I continued to study with you, and I every time I took another course or did another class, because I was so, all of us are so fortunate to be part of the inner circle of wisdom. So we've been able to continue our training, that there was another level of, oh, I see that in my life. I see how that fits in with the lives of my clients. Or like many of them going, oh, I want to study that deeper. Like, I'll never forget the first time you brought Alex into the inner circle. And we all went, oh my, yeah, mind blown. We have to know more.
Yeah.
And I still laugh about the fact that our first Ireland trip was supposed to be a once off, because Alex wasn't going to be teaching anymore. And here we are, how many years
Yeah.
later? That first, yeah, and he is right in there. He loves it, and we all love him. And look at how we've all grown together. And
Beautiful.
um,
Well, so
so
I want to, because people are going, okay, who's Alex and what, maybe.
but I know people are going to be going. So I mean, yeah. So I mean, for me, it started with people's homes, learning how to help people enhance the harmony of their homes, to bring balance, to really support not just their family life, or their business, or their relationships, but really that harmony within themselves, that place of feeling really, wow, I'm really, my home makes me feel whole. There's a wholeness, there's a freedom, there's a peace that comes from knowing that I actually have a relationship with my house. It isn't just the place where I, hang my clothes or sleep at night or cook my meals, but I actually, through that work, teaching people how to actually have a relationship with their home. Um, because we're in relationship with everything, whether we realize it or not.
Yeah,
And
I love
that's
it.
that, yeah, whether we realize it or not, we're in relationship with everything. Because like, I learned from you that we're not separate. We never have been. We're connected to this amazing universe on so many levels, and our home is just another expression of that.
I love
So,
I love that, and
yeah.
I think that's so important. We're in relationship with everything, so it's like
Mhm,
it's all mirroring it back to us because we always
mhm,
talk about this in feng shui. Our home is a
mhm,
reflection, and that's not just
mhm,
actually it's showing us, where if
mhm,
they're breaking down, okay, where's their
mhm,
blockages or things are
mhm,
like it's constantly inviting us. And so then, okay, so then this is so profound, everything you've shared about that. So then we go a level deeper and we go,
mhm,
oh, okay, the home and the energy flow and how it was built based on how the stars and the cosmos are like. But what about that land that's been there a long,
mhm.
long time before that house? How is that
Mm,
affecting us? So you started
yeah.
talking about Alex. So well, you can feng shui is profoundly powerful, but the thing is, if the land that the home
Mhm,
is built on, the
yeah.
ancestral connection, trauma that's happened on the land, just buildings that have happened that has thrown the land out of balance, right? So
Mhm, yeah.
I think basically what happened is Alex and I offered the in-person back then,
Mhm,
um,
yeah.
and you were just like, sign me up. How can I join?
Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
I think it's been years now. You've been deeply, deeply going deeper with the land and the study. So tell us about that. So you studied feng shui, and now tell us
Mhm.
about your journey into the land healing.
Yeah, yeah. No, exactly. You brought Alex Stark into the training that we all, do on a monthly basis. And it did. It was like all of us who've been studying with you for many years went, oh my goodness, we just dropped down into this whole new, deeper awareness of the work that we're doing and how we could then actually take it even, even better, even I say lower in this sense because I feel like I sort of just melted into the earth in a whole new way when we started studying together with you and Alex, and it was my first real step into geomancy, the study of the energy of the earth. And so when you and Alex offered to do an in-person training in Ireland, my favorite place in the world, my happy place, that's Ireland, my happy place. Um, I just went, I have to know this. And I mean, I always thought of myself as somebody who was connected, to the earth because I was born and raised in, the Rocky Mountains in Canada. And I was raised by a mother who loved camping. She was a businesswoman from, Monday to Friday, most of the year. My mom was in a suit and she headed off to work, but her favorite thing in the world was camping. So any chance we got, she would throw my sister and I and all the camping equipment into the car and we would head off into the mountains. And I remember as a kid, and I know you've had memories like this too, where we just spent hours running around in forests and playing by creeks and streams and swimming in lakes. And my mom would be sitting there. Her favorite other thing, the next favorite thing for my mom to do was to read. So she'd be sitting back at the campground reading a book, just relaxing, knowing that her kids were running around out in the forest. And we'd come back and get something to eat or drink and then head back out again. So, I mean, and I worked at children's summer camps all through high school. I was always in the mountains. I was always connected to this incredible beauty that I was fortunate to live in and to be raised around. So I always felt a strong connection. But the first trip in Ireland really opened my heart and my mind to, oh, I'm far more connected than I realize. And again, it was an awareness of a relationship that had always been there, but I didn't realize how deep it was and how personal that relationship was and could be, and that I could go even deeper with learning how to really listen to the land and feel its vibrations and know its comings and goings. And it was just that training was profound for me, and that really opened the door for, I believe, now what everything in my life has led me to do the work that I do now. And
Oh,
that is
I
is
got
yeah,
chill.
is mhm,
And
yeah,
that
it
is
I
drum roll.
yeah, no, it is. working, being a geomancer, the ancient practice of feng shui, this was just an integral part. Is the land was not separate from the home. In fact, they wouldn't even consider putting a home on a piece of land that they hadn't thoroughly spent time with and looked into the energies of and the flow and how was that land going to support whatever structure was going to be there, whether it was someone's home, whether it was a temple, whether it was going to be a burial site, or if it was going to be someone's farmland. They would never have discounted the energy of that particular piece of ground and all that it could bring to it, or all that needed to be remedied to enhance the good that was already there. So it totally changed my focus, and I felt like this is me. This is like this work is me. I couldn't think of any other way.
And so I love that. Like, I love hearing about
Mhm,
what the feng shui did and the awakening that you got there and the
mhm,
consciousness around that. And then, like, this nourishing space. But hold on, like, before anything happens to the home, the land needs to be taken care
mhm,
of. And there's millions of homes where that was
mhm.
not considered. So,
Right.
like, we all need support in that. Like, we always say that if every home and land was looked after and we were all in this place of
Mhm.
playing and love and compassion, for ourselves and others, we'd have world peace. So it's like
Yes.
these
Yeah.
are ways that we can raise the consciousness and we can
Yes.
create that collective healing ultimately why we're doing this.
Right. Right.
When you say like this, there's an embodiment for you and just this depth, this, like, it sounds like it was a remembrance for you. If this isn't the first
Mhm.
lifetime that you've been doing this work and you can feel that from
Uh,
you. How was that for you? Like, so I hear that emotionally and spiritually, and
mhm.
but how did that then pan out and affect the other areas of your life?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot. I think the main one would be that, like you said, that knowing. I think a lot of us have done many things in our lives, our process as humans, as people on the earth. It's been a growth process. For me, it was stepping into, this is why I'm here. These are the gifts I was given to be part of what I believe is a very crucial time in the world, that we're being called to work with the earth to see the, not just the changes, culturally and politically and environmentally. We're getting ready for a shift. There is a shift coming, and it has to happen on a number of levels, and we get called into it, I think, in different ways and through different expressions. And my what it did for me was show, this is why you're here right now, to help people, your clients, get in touch with what Mother Earth, how she's involved in this transformation. And we're working together to see that raise, that level of consciousness raise, where we're really going to see a universal shift. But it has to start where we are here on the land, with our everyday life, how we respect the land, how we care for it, how we learn to be in that reciprocal relationship with the land, because we are not separate and it never goes one way. It's always coming back around. What we do influences the earth, and then she comes back around and goes, okay, this is how you and I are going to, gift each other, work on this, and then we just keep it going. So for me, it actually raised an urgency in me, honestly, to go, I can't be doing anything else. This is the most important thing I can be doing for myself and for my clients and for the earth, because again, we're all in relationship with each other. So for me, it went, I don't want to do anything else. And it doors just started opening. Once I made that decision, doors just started opening for people. People started, reaching out to me going, oh, I hear you do land work. And I'm going, yes, I love the land. What would you like? Kind of thing. So, it's that beautiful synchronicity that we see when we answer the call, when we go, oh yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And
You're on purpose,
yes.
and I love that crystal clear clarity. There's nothing else to
Mhm.
be doing. This is where
Yeah.
that's like so profoundly powerful to feel 100% in alignment with who we are
Mhm.
and the
Mhm.
work and how we're showing up in the world and how we're being of service in the
Mhm.
world, in your community, to the earth. And so I was just getting chills the whole time you were sharing. It's so beautiful.
Mhm.
So now you have this beautiful clarity and there's opportunities flowing due to you really doing this deep inner work. And you know,
Mhm.
I know you, it's not like you don't half-ass anything. Do you know what I mean? You go yeah, to the core, to the heart of it, you know, and you're so dedicated to the wisdom of it, to the ancientness of it, and
Mhm.
really allowing that to, you know, come forth. So
Mhm.
I'd love to hear now. So you've done all your trainings, now all these opportunities are coming. You're feeling an alignment. And I know we're always students and teachers, always,
Yeah,
right?
always. Yeah.
The land is always and it's always evolving, just like the seasons
Mhm.
are. They have their ebbs and flows and their winters and their summers and their full moons and their new moons. So
Mhm.
tell us now, I would love to hear about you're talking about opportunities. I know that you really, really connect in the rituals and the ceremonies and connecting people to the land and the ancestors. So I'd love to hear a little bit about what you're doing there. And then I know there's some really exciting projects that you are stepping into. So we'd love to hear about all of that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, as I've continued to do the work and there's so much beauty in the work, I've really found that the thing that I enjoy the most about geomancy is the rituals and ceremonies that we do on the land, because that is the way to honor the land. That is our way to connect personally and deeply. And so I'm fortunate to be able, obviously, to be able to do rituals and ceremonies with my clients and to teach them how to do that. But it's become such a, it's like breathing. It's a part of my everyday life now. I have rituals that I do every day. I start the day with a ritual of greeting the day. And it was actually a ritual I learned from a Peruvian shaman. And it sets me up for the day. I connect with the earth, I connect with the cosmos. I have prayers and actions that accompany it, and it sets me up for my relationship that day with the earth and how I'm going to be of service to the earth and to my community. And every time I do it, it deepens that relationship in ways that often honestly just bring tears to my eyes. There are just so many beautiful rituals that we can do to honor the earth, to bring energy up, to acknowledge certain aspects, whether it's water or mountains or forests or plants. It doesn't matter. There's so many beautiful ways in ritual and ceremony to, with intention, connect with that energy. That's the part that I love the most, because what I've seen is not only in my life, I see how it's deepened my connection, but I love to see how that has then deepened my clients' connection. They get to know, some of them, it's the first time in their lives they've ever um, gone outside and made an offering to the land. And I was working with this beautiful family in Ireland a little while ago, and they were building their home on it was a family piece of land, and their father, the husband's father and mother lived on the property, and also his sister, and it was a big piece of farmland. And now he and his wife and children were going to be building their home there. And we did a groundbreaking ceremony, and their children, it was so beautiful. They were so excited. The children were like 7 and 10, and they were making intentions. They were writing intentions on little pieces of paper of what they wanted for their new home and their family. And they did a whole ceremony and broke ground and buried their intentions in a special place, and made a little cairn actually to acknowledge the work that they wanted to do. And I mean, how beautiful is that? These 7 and 10-year-old are going, wow, this my land is special. My land it knows what I want, and I can talk to it. It was just this beautiful, beautiful ceremony. And I love being able to let people know this is a way that you can easily every day deepen that relationship with the land. Because for me, that's what's really come to the surface, is that we have to stay connected. We I think you and I've talked about this. We love what we protect what we love. And that's true, just profoundly true. And I want people to love the earth so much that they're going to do whatever they can to protect it. And if that's just what they do on their land, or if they want to take that to another level and be part of organizations that are doing great work to, change climate change, to help people become more aware of how they can live more sustainably, whatever it ends up, taking people. But it starts with a deeply personal connection to the land. So, yeah.
I really agree with you. And, it's like so blessed to have forests or mountains or, the
Mhm.
sea or rivers near. And then,
Yeah.
even people that are living in the cities, there's
Yes.
parks or sometimes
Hmm.
drive, but getting there. But I would love, because I know this would benefit everybody listening. So could you maybe share a really brief, simple ritual that you might suggest?
Mm.
Because you mentioned about plants, because
Yeah.
well, sometimes they don't even have a balcony or there's not a
Right.
park close by. Working
Yeah.
with a plant or a crystal that they have at home, like so
Hmm.
even just a really simple ritual or that they could do. I would love for you
Yeah.
to put in your back pocket that you would share with us.
Okay. One of the ones that I love to do every morning, um, I have a couple, but this one's really simple. And this one really helps you connect deeply with Mother Earth. And what it is you actually envision yourself inside a clear quartz crystal, a large clear. So see yourself surrounded by a clear quartz crystal, because that is the vibration of Mother Earth. And I close my eyes and I ask Gaia to surround me with her high vibrational, highly refined energy, that as I go forward today, that I would know that vibration, I would feel it, I would be protected by it as I do work in the world. And I literally, when you do that, you will actually, because she never says no. She wants us to be in relationship with her. And I feel her vibration around me. And I have envisioned this crystal. I see it clearly and I see myself inside of it. And I just spend time, even just a few moments. That's the first thing I do, because I want to vibrate at her energy level. I want to be able to experience the world from her perspective and from her high vibrational energy, so that's what I'm bringing to whatever my day ends up looking like. Whatever comes my way, I'm in this beautiful crystal. And that's just a simple one, envisioning yourself inside a crystal every morning.
But the beauty of
Yeah.
that is you can do that if you're in your car or,
Yes.
you're
Hmm.
waiting for a doctor's appointment or anything. You can just,
Hmm.
if you need to raise your frequency or you just feel like you just like that layer of protection or that grounding, it's just like, and there you
Yes.
and you can
Yeah.
feel just that second, I can feel that shift at my heart. I can
Yeah.
feel,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
beautiful. Thank you. So
Yeah.
I'd love to ask you now because you have so much beauty and wisdom and knowledge and gifts to share. And
Mm.
I know you're working with people and you're guiding them through geomancy, earth healing, land healing,
Hmm.
so facilitating their connection to deepen with the land. So tell
Hmm.
us maybe a little bit about you were mentioning about something that you're kind of that's in creation phases that you'd like to share with us.
Right. Yes. Well, like I said, as I've been doing it for a while now, I mean, I love all aspects of it, but what really makes my heart sing is the ritual and ceremony part of geomancy. And as I've continued to do it, you know how we're doing something for a while and we like it, and you just sort of get that little stirring, that little nudge. There's something more. What is it? What is it? And I've been asking myself that for a while. What is it? What is that something more? I know that it's an expansion of this work, but I'm not exactly sure what it was. And just the last probably 6 or 8 months, I've been going, it's ritual and ceremony. I want to be able to bring that in a deeper way, but a very practical way to women who really want to know more. They might have done a few things. They might have spent time in nature as a kid, or they might have grown up in a city, but have always wanted to be more connected to nature and to the earth. And to me, ceremony and ritual is the best way to do it, because it connects you so profoundly with your own place on the earth and your relationship with it. And it gives you it brings in the magic. That's what it does. It brings in it alivens the magic that's already there, because you actually spend time going, I'm consciously thinking about this river or this mountain or this forest, and I am connecting with it energetically, but also physically. I'm physically putting my feet down on this forest. I'm walking through it. I'm engaging with trees, or I'm putting my hands in crystal clear water. And so what's ended up happening for me is I know that is what I want, where my expansion is going to be. I want to teach women how to live ritual and ceremony by connecting really deeply with the land. So what I am working on creating is a little school of ritual and ceremony.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited. So
Amazing.
yeah. So and right now I'm looking at, I mean, I envision eventually it being in more than one location, but I am looking at going back to my roots, and that is in Canada. And I was fortunate, as I mentioned, to be raised in a beautiful, beautiful part of the world, in the Rocky Mountains. And because I want it to be it's going to be like it's going to be adult camping in a way. Again, taking me back to my camping. I know because
You're going back to your motherland. And I always say this,
Mhm.
like, what were you doing when you
Yeah.
were 5, 6? I mean, for me, I was out singing to the fairies and
Mhm.
videoing and recording my stories out there. Well, not much has
Mhm.
changed 40 years later. So go back.
It's
What are you doing?
right.
So I
Yeah.
love
Yes.
that.
Yeah. No, I've ever since I started, because I currently live in the United States, but ever since I started doing the land work with you and Alex, I felt a very strong call to go back to the land that I was born on.
I love
And
that.
yeah, and so that's where the school, it's going to be very hands-on. So we will be climbing mountains, we will be walking through streams, canoeing across lakes. We're going to there's an area that there's an inland temperate rainforest, and it's not on the ocean like most of the rainforests are in Canada or on the coast of BC. This is actually inland, and it's actually more accurately a snow forest, because it is in an area where it gets all of its moisture from snow. And so there are hundreds and thousands year old cedar trees that are in the middle of British Columbia.
Amazing.
And so that'll be one of the places that we will go and spend time connecting with these ancient trees, and learning the rhythms of the forest, learning the rhythms of trees and the animals there, and doing rituals to honor that place. But also, how does that ritual become part of you, and how do you become more connected to the land through the rituals that we do? And for me, it's about making them simple. I want a profound experience in nature to really, to emphasize and to really bring into the lives of those women how profoundly they are connected to nature, even if they live in the city, because they'll never forget that experience.
Yeah.
They'll always be able to recall the experience they had there, the energy that they had there, and then to be able to bring those ceremonies back into their everyday life. Even again, I live in a big city now. I don't live with a beautiful forest around me, but I have very simple ways that I connect to the land every day, even in the middle of the city that I currently live in.
Love
And I want, yeah, so it's going to be a
that.
lot of
And,
fun,
and what,
fun.
but what I'm really hearing, it's like fully coming home to oneself. And when I say
Yeah.
that, I mean like soul, heart, self.
Hmm.
I'm not always, it's not always has to be the highest self, it's just self coming
Hmm.
fully home, because that's
Hmm.
the mother, the land, the divine mother. And
Hmm.
and then when we embody that, it just is where we go. So that sounds divine. It sounds amazing. And
Yes.
you just say you're lit up when you're telling me about that, but you just be lit up the whole time because you're talking about
Yeah.
your passion
Yeah.
and your love.
Yeah.
Well, before we get ready to close,
Hmm.
and we're going to have your website and
Yeah.
everything listed in the show notes so everybody can find you there. So you talked about this beautiful technique with, being in the quartz crystal. Could
Hmm.
you maybe give us one more, um, just very, very simple thing that I know you said in the mornings you have specific
Yeah.
prayers and everything like that, but just another, just very simple practice that you use that really
Hmm.
helps you stay embodied and your vibration clear. If you'd like to guide us
Yeah.
through something or tell us about it.
Yeah. 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 Um, this is another one simple one that I do every morning, and I'm not sure I can back up and you can see me because I want to show you what I do.
Yeah.
Um, so basically, I go outside, and sometimes I don't. I can do it anywhere. So, you might not be able to go outside. The weather may not permit for it. You may not be able to, like you said, you may live on the 27th floor of a high rise in some city. But what you want to do is you want to face east. You want to face the rising sun. And I start with my arms out to my sides, but my palms are facing the earth. So I'm going to do the ritual and then I'll explain it for you. So I'm facing east and I say, today is the best day for all of us. I am always ready. I am not prepared. I turn my palms up and raise my arms up and say, everything is for me. Nothing is mine. Put my hands on my heart and my solar plexus. I am the divine mystery. That's my little morning ritual.
That
So,
is so beautiful. Thank you for
mhm,
sharing that with them.
yeah. So when you started by saying, today is the best day for all of us, and what that means is today is the best day for all of us to be of service to our family, our friends, our community, our clients. And you're just holding your palms on the earth, facing the east, the rising of the sun, grandfather sun, father sky. And then you keep your hands facing the earth. The next thing is, I am always ready. I am not prepared. So I'm always ready and willing to be of service. But we say we're not prepared because we don't know the future. We don't know what's going to happen. We are ready for what's coming, and we're ready to be in flow, but we don't know what's happening next because none of us do. And we don't know the future. We trust that we're being guided. And then you turn your palms up and raise them up towards the heaven and say, everything is for me, nothing is mine. And that it's just the truth of it. Everything is available to us, but we don't own anything. We're stewards here. We're here to be caretakers. And then I put the shaman I worked with. He puts his left hand on his heart and his right hand on his solar plexus, and he calls that the I am position. And then you say I am, and I like to say I am the divine mystery because we all are. We're all part of this beautiful divine mystery. I sometimes I add, and I'm made of stardust, and I'm connected to the cosmos, and I'm grateful to be alive. So, and then you blow out 3 times as a closing of your little ritual. And that can take 30 seconds to do, but it's a profound way to connect with your purpose, to the land, to the cosmos, all in this one beautiful little ceremony. So,
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. This
yeah,
conversation has just been, I always love anytime I get to spend with you and commune with
ditto.
you in sacred space together, but just to be
Yeah.
present and a witness here and just to see and hear
Mhm.
you completely in your purpose. And thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing your wisdom with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate being asked. It's always a joy to be with you too, Amanda.
Thank you,
Yeah.
love. This was
Thank
amazing.
you.
All Penny's information will be in the show notes so you can reach out to her and connect with her and do rituals and experience her gifts. Thank you, Penny, love.